Yo, what's up guys, Nandra here. Welcome to another video. So, the other day, I couldn't sleep, so I just went on Discord and I was like, oh, okay guys, just go ahead and ask me a bunch of difficult questions, so hopefully I can think about this and fall asleep, just because for me, it's really hard for me to fall asleep. I don't know. Well, actually, I guess I should clarify. It's hard for me to manually force myself to go to sleep, but it's really easy for me to just fall asleep if I'm not thinking about it. Anyway. So, Time, aka Reminiscence, he asked me, what is the benefit of going wide on the board rather than going big? Okay, so I believe I touched on this a little bit in a video, but wasn't a video directly about me talking about stuff, so I decided to make this a video. Alright, so there's a few trade-offs between going wide and going big, both obviously pros and cons. So one of the pros is that you get to, if you have more creatures in play, it's a lot harder for your opponent to remove them, and you see that in the game as it is right now. That generally, if your opponent goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and you only have say one removal spell, if the removal spell can't hit multiple creatures at the same time, or rather, sorry, kill multiple creatures at the same time, you're going to be in a bad spot, especially if you went second. This is why swing card evos are really important, just so that way they can help you retake the board, because again, AoE isn't really that prevalent. Additionally, the majority of AoE effects in the game usually happen at say 6 mana. So yeah. The other trade-off is that if you have a wider board, again, because your things are gonna be inherently sticky, just because AoE is so scarce in this game, it's gonna let you make a lot more trades and just be able to dictate the board until your opponent can effectively remove them, or kind of roadblock you with a giant taunt and force you to reduce the size of your board. However, in the event where you're not paying resources for the cards in the first place, that just becomes a sort of compounding problem for them. This is actually part of why I don't like wards that much in this game, just because there aren't many proactive wards. It's a shame that Hector is one of the few, if not the only proactive ward in the game at this point in typing, or sorry, at this point at this time of recording the video. The biggest thing about say my tortoise dragon or whatever is that the tortoise dragon, I always have something on the field. If you always have something on the field, it's very difficult for you to lose, especially if that creature they have in the field takes no mana whatsoever to play. Being able to go wide, it lets you play more things per turn. It lets you kind of space out your turns. One of the core issues with dragons sometimes is that sometimes if you want to make power plays a dragon, that usually costs at least 8 to 10 mana to do, and on 8 to 10 mana, that basically restricts you to that one action that turn. You have to basically kind of pray that action is going to be enough to swing a board. Now sometimes it is, sometimes you're going to be able to get an israfil for 5 or whatever, but then get an israfil for +4, +5 or whatever, get the 4 heal, have a 10/10 in play, or just Bahamut and just oh hey, well, I dropped the world under dragon on you, I'm threatening lethal, what you gonna do? But sometimes that can backfire on you. For example, if you're versus a neutral deck, or just versus a board flood deck, and the board flood deck makes a bunch of creatures at the same time. If you don't have that Bahamut, it's gonna be very difficult to clear that, and that's one of the benefits that you get. However, the trade-off is that usually a lot of these creatures, while they're great in quantity, they usually kind of lack in value. Now, there's a big difference between the overall quality of say a carrot. Well, maybe not a carrot, of say a Lyrial when you don't have an Evo, versus me having a Bahamut. If I can get to a point where where I'm able to just get this really big guy on the board and you haven't been able to kill me yet, you'll never ever kill me, and this big guy is gonna invalidate all of your smaller guys. This is part of why sometimes Ramjack just kind of beats all of these aggro decks, because sometimes you can just kind of stall and work your way to a board state where suddenly you have the biggest guy in the play, and it's usually a 10/10 versus again a field of 2/2s, if I have a 10-10 versus you having like two T's or something like that, I'm pretty sure I'm winning that game unless you just like have like a lot of bursts in your hand. Or if I have like if I have like a Bahamut or whatever, and you have like a bunch of like, again, 2/2s or something like that, like even though my Bahamut can't immediately attack face, it's only a matter of time until I just like, get to like remove that board and then get to like smack you for 13. However, right now it's better to go wide just because it lets you combat the board better. Because again, right now a lot of people are playing Kaiser the carrot, or just the ultimate carrot basically, and that's big because when you get to play the ultimate carrot, the carrot once you've already paid the 3 mana to play the Kaiser, once you get the carrots, like it costs you nothing to play them. Like it only costs you 2 mana, but that 2 mana doesn't matter just because like a lot of times you're gonna be floating mana to begin with, so just like really helps you get out that like curve filler and start doing like things that just like annoy your opponent. Like again, I've actually been like quoted for saying this on Discord, but like, and I'll say it again here, like playing Kaiser versus control decks is some of the best things you can be doing, because eventually like it's gonna be very, very difficult for them to deal with those carrots and be able to kill you at the same time, because again, like it requires some form of like giant like proactive board swing, or for the opponent to be able to like climb back to a spot where they're not like in danger of dying. Like say for example the Israfil plus Evo in order to like retake a board, but that's like easier said than done. Like it still requires you to see good cards, and that's just only talking about the card in question that you need to save your life. And their carrots. It's not talking about like the other cards in your hand or the other cards in your opponent's hand, because like I can be playing like aoes with these carrots, and then suddenly they're like 3/3 carrots, and then you have to like deal with all of that. And yeah, it's just a little bit better to go wide on the board when possible. However, if you're in a class that has like some form of like AoE, then it can be better to go tall. But generally, in the early game, you want to go as wide as possible, just because like it makes it that much difficult for your opponent to be able to clear. But overall, I do think that there are more benefits rather than cons for going wide. At least right now in the current state of the game, just because like, yes, you can go tall, but some of the card quality for some of the creatures that you go tall with kind of suck. Like for example, one of the best ones was actually from this expansion, and that was like Scarlet Sabura. Scarlet Sabura is one of the best cards that promotes a going tall strategy, just because like she's a 5-drop that can easily like 1 for 3 your opponent. That's like insane. But yeah, but hopefully you guys see the different benefits between, again, going tall versus going wide. If you enjoyed the video, go and leave a like, go and hit that subscribe button if you haven't. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya!